everyone and welcome to GSC Learning Lab. My name is Celine and over the next few weeks the team at Glasgow Science Centre are going to take you on a journey where we will learn all about climate change together. We will talk about some of the ways that humans are causing climate change and some of the ways that climate change is affecting our lives. But what does the word climate mean? Let's start by exploring how we experience our climate. Weather changes over days or weeks and is local to the place that we are. When we talk about climate, we need to think much bigger, in months and even years. That's because climate is the weather patterns we see over a long time, in a city, a country, or even our planet as a whole. Therefore, climate change highlights changes in things like temperature or rainfall across the world that happen over a number of years. Our climate has always changed naturally, but we now know that the actions of people are speeding it up. What do you already know about climate change and why is it happening? Take a moment to pause this video, discuss it with someone next to you, and then share your answers with the class. Even if you're not too sure of the answers just yet, you will find out more about some of the causes of climate change as you continue on your GSC Learning Lab journey. Today, we are going to explore the weather. Every time we step outside, we experience weather. It is what we see every day when we look out of the window or up at the sky. Weather is different from climate because weather is all about what is happening in our local area right now. We are going to be scientists tracking the weather in our area, just like scientists all over the world are doing every day to look at what's happening with climate change. We'll talk about what our wild and wacky weather is and how the water cycle plays an important role in it. The weather has a huge impact on our daily lives. It determines what we might wear for the day or whether we even choose to go outside. On warm sunny days, we head outside for a picnic, a bike ride, or even a visit to the beach. On cold, rainy days, we choose to stay inside and read a book or play a game, or we could even put on our raincoats and have a cycle through the puddles. How many different types of weather can you name? Pause the video, chat with a partner, and share your ideas with the class. You might have said some common types of weather like sunny, cloudy, windy, rainy or snowy, or even some more uncommon ones like frost and ice, thunder and lightning, hail, humid, storms and heat waves. A lot of these types of weather occur because of the water cycle. We can also call it the hydrological cycle. We know that water can occur in 3 states of matter. It can be a solid in the form of ice, a liquid just as we drink every day, and a gas in the form of water vapour. What you may not know is that water moves around our planet, constantly changing states. This is what results in our weather. Water from our rivers, oceans and lochs gets heated and turns into the gaseous form of water, water vapour. This process is known as evaporation. The water vapour rises until it starts to cool down. As the vapour cools, it forms visible water droplets which we see as clouds. This process is known as condensation. When there is too much water within a cloud, it will fall back down to the ground as precipitation. This can be as rain, sleet or snow. Eventually, the water runs back into the rivers, oceans and lochs, and this is known as collection. The water cycle then begins again and again and again. Let's head to GSE to do an exciting experiment that can help us to see part of the water cycle in action. Remember, at GSE we are trained professionals. Please do not try to copy anything that you see today. And with that said, let's go. First of all, we have some liquid nitrogen, which we're going to pour into the barrel. Let's look at what happens when a bucket of warm water is added to the nitrogen. What a mess! Let's explore what happened. To keep nitrogen as a liquid, it needs to be colder than -196 degrees Celsius. When we poured the warm water into the barrel, the liquid nitrogen became a bit warmer and immediately started evaporating into a gas. This gas is still very cold, and as it rises into the air, it cools the water vapour in the air. This condenses the water vapour into water droplets. So essentially, we made our very own cloud. Scientists who study the weather and its patterns are known as meteorologists. They use a variety of scientific instruments to measure air pressure, temperature, wind speed and sunshine, and use this data to make predictions or forecasts for future weather. If you watch the news, you will see meteorologists giving you a daily or weekly weather forecast. An important reason to monitor the weather is to keep an eye on climate change. For Scotland, scientists think that this means our summers will be hotter and drier, while our winters will be much wetter with more extreme weather. When we look at climate change of the whole planet, we can see that the world is warming up. This will disrupt the balance of the water cycle and change climates all over the planet. Even small amounts of climate change can have huge effects on our lives. Changing climates can make it harder for food to grow because of changing weather conditions, and glaciers are melting and causing the oceans to rise and flood coastal locations, putting people's homes at risk. Because climate change is bringing increasing temperatures, it's having an effect on the water cycle. As temperatures rise, more water evaporates into the air as water vapour. Higher temperatures are also able to hold more water vapour in the air. The water vapour condenses into clouds, but since there is so much more water than usual, when precipitation happens, there is a lot more of that, leading to intense rainfall. Let's have a look at how rainfall is changing in Scotland. This graph uses data from the Met Office. It begins in the year 1862 and shows us the total amount of rainfall Scotland has had every year since then. While the rainfall changes a lot from year to year, what we are really interested in is a red dotted line. We can see that over time, the amount of rainfall is increasing. Since 1862, there has been a 14% increase in average rainfall in Scotland, with scientists predicting that this trend will continue. Keeping a record of weather is very important in understanding how climate is changing. For now, let's get started on monitoring the weather that's local to you. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, goodbye.